Notion workshop, and have you to attend first digital Qasas sharing along with me to explore the powerful capabilities of Notion along with exciting integration of artificial intelligence. So in the first 10 minutes, I would like to introduce you about Notion in general and the outline of our workshop today. So our objective for this workshop is to familiarize you with the basics of Notion as a versatile productivity tool and to demonstrate how AI integration can enhance its functionality. So today we will guide you through Notion's features and show you how to utilize AI-powered insights to optimize your workflow and decision making. So among the objective is for you to get a comprehensive introduction to Notion, hands-on session on creating your first Notion dashboard, using artificial intelligence in Notion, and how to use templates to streamline your workflow. So the main rationale behind this workshop is there are people who reach out to me for an independent for CV and resume writing. And also the main objective and the main rationale is there are a group of junior medical officers who recently lose their hope for getting the Latihan Persekutuan or scholarship for specialization and permanent posts under the Ministry of Health. So, and there are also a group of people who are currently having a decent and stable life, but feel stagnant and looking for ways to improve themselves. And there are also other groups who are from different life dynamics that change them as an individual and have different life priorities who like to seek more productive life goals. So this is to power these groups of individuals, and from all of these key points combined, I am inspired to help people to equip people with the knowledge and skill to harness their own full potential by leveraging Notion. So at the end of the workshop, you will have a solid understanding of the core functionalities of Notion and how AI integration can elevate your experience with this platform. So you learn how page. This is a page, cardiology page, pulmonary page, top 5 ways of studying page, study resources for exam page. And within each page, you will have a sub-page, meaning there will be subtopics within this page. For example, this is cardiology. You might have topics like acute coronary syndrome or people who have hypertension, for example, within this topic. And from this is page to sub-page 2, you might have also another view we call a database list. We see in a moment. And then another view called calendar view. So you can have a different view for each style that you have. So at the end of the session, you will have your own first dashboard without even the need of coding. So as I mentioned, this is another view. The sub-page, the page is cardiology. The sub-page will be ACS, acute coronary syndrome, and heart failure. So this is basically just a subtopics within the topic of cardiology itself. So as you see, this consists of table list with the title of revision. You might type something, revision or topics or other things. And then the subpage, you can write it as SCS, heart failure. This is subtopics within the cardiology. Within the second column, you will put your progress as a percentage, the material that you are currently being reviewing, the duration, the checkbox utilities that you might be able to use as a planning. And then as you see, within the cardiology, you aim to finish the material for within 1 month, but within the subtopics, you want to finish it with a micro timing by having it finishing it within 3 days, May 1 to May 3rd, and so on. Perhaps you have a better period in your own suitable timeline. So this column is will have their own property. For example, progress is a mathematical property. Material is a selection. You might have a past year, you might have a textbook, you may have a different kind of format that you would like to refer and review to. And this is a calendar property. This is a checkbox property. Checkbox property is basically is whether you check or not check. It's a binary, whether it's 0 or 1. So this is just another view. This is a mobile view. And let me see this one just now. Let this one. This is the desktop view. For mobile, you will have a mobile view. So it's the same. So the user experience and user interface that you will have with using Notion. So it is similar experience if you are using desktop as a plan or whether you use telephone within the application stuff. It is downloadable to iOS or Android. So and you have a similar user interface, minimalistic, and it actually depends on you how creative you are to create a canvas for yourself. So what you need to do, download the free handbook via Gumroad, sign up for Notion. Meanwhile, I'm doing this lecture. You might scan the QR code. I give you about 15 seconds to scan the QR code. We still haven't downloaded the handbook. So meanwhile, I'm giving this brief lecture about Notion. You'll be able to sign up on Notion, download this handbook, and then sign up for Notion. All right. So just a quick introduction. This is digital Qasas team. This is me, Sharmin. I'm currently a master's student at London School of Health, London School of Economics, currently in health policy, with interest in data analytics and intelligence. Another colleague of mine is Mr. Hakim. He's a senior analyst at England, and a former research lead at University of Cambridge, and also a professional fellow in one of the initiative. And another colleague of mine is Dr. Mustafa Kamal. Perhaps you might be familiar of him. He is currently the doctor or senior host officer infectious disease at Lady of Rocks Hospital, Drogheda Island, who is also a former OHD or Commissioner Health Doctor at Mega Clinic Sahran. He is famously known for the active advocate for junior doctor rights to Hatal Doctor Contract, alongside with Dr. Muhammad Yassin. So we aim to approach people to empower people on their own life journey, productivity, personal and professional development, education, and also provide them consulting. So this is our portfolio. We help people, individuals to apply jobs in the UK, pursue higher education in the UK, personal and professional development tools, data analytics, intelligence, artificial intelligence, machine learning, financial analysis. So why Notion? So in general, Notion started as a note-taking app, but has evolved into a notable personal knowledge management system and project management tool that is perfect for solopreneur or as well as small teams. It as acts as an excellent tool to keep all information in one place, accessible and portable for people. And most importantly, have these collaborative tools for sharing with other individuals and team. And with Notion, you can create wikis, your own library, sort of product guide, even website with it. All can be done without the knowledge of coding. And the reason why I try to promote Notion itself is that Notion has a strong community with more than 20 million users, with 4 million active users, paid users, 150 community, more than 50 countries, and have a active Notionist on Reddit. And it has a friendly user interface, portable, easy to use. And most importantly, it's the minimalist. So other than that, Why Notion? In this age of visual economy, there is a lot of information that we have and we have to receive every day from ebooks, from audio, TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot, and social media. So studies also suggested that almost 15,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day that we are processing. To put into context, if each thought were a word, we will be able to generate enough content to produce a novel every single day. But unlike book, our thoughts are not neatly composed. On a good day, they are vaguely coherent. So we need to write to declutter our mind and outline our goals, our plan. So that's why there's this term called your second brain to put your knowledge, your information in a proper storage, or we call it as a knowledge management system. And Notion is a perfect tool for that. So this is another view. This is we call as a Kanban board. Kanban board, some call it. So Kanban board is basically being used by project manager, people who work in IT. They use a process called by they group the board by status, not started, next up, in progress, completed. They can be able will put it as a square. What is the role, the responsibility, who is charge of the project, the priority, and also the date. Once they completed the process, they can easily drag this to the next status and so on. So as you can see, this is not started yet. And also for this level it's completed, so Garrett in this example already completed this task. So in Notion, it is upon you how complex would you like to do your note or your knowledge management system, and how diligent and micro you are to use Notion as a tool. This is another view. Perhaps this is a student, undergraduate student who's studying calculus and also creative writing. So as the same thing, they put a progress, in progress, incomplete. So they completed the quiz, put it on the side, and in progress, really doing his midterm quiz or essays over here. And this is dashboard view. Having a gallery view. Just now we have a Kanban board, we have a gallery view. The difference is in Kanban, you content. But with the gallery, you have the picture, the cover. So you put pictures, beautiful pictures, as a pleasure, aesthetic view for yourself. So the same thing, you can see here, the topic is calculus. The year, the term is in fall. He put the cover, math, computer programming, CSI, and creative writing. So this is dashboard. When you put in the view, in calendar view or Kanban view, it can view it as you see just now. Another use of Notion, you can use it as a company management, one-stop center, one-stop resource, where you can put your company policies with, for example, a leave policy, benefit policy, expense policy. You want to share the mission values of your company, getting started, onboarding session, or updates within the company. So you can manage to do that with Notion. And like I said just now, you can make your own library or indexing through Notion. So from getting started, the field itself, you want to have a client guide, whether it's a business or you want to have make it as your library. It's totally dependent on you, on how creative you are, how you organize your knowledge. It's like a folder, but not necessarily a folder, because you can customize it, page, sub page, and so on. So this is another simpler view. You don't put it as a page, just Monday, Wednesday, Friday, although you can put it in the calendar, but perhaps this example put you in a very rather simplistic manner. You only have page, robotics page, robotic parts a page, debit class a page, and so on. So as I mentioned, Notion works perfectly as a second brain. So how do we start? So personally, this is my knowledge management system. As a student, I personally use other tools for note taking. For example, OneNote, I involve coding with R and Jupyter. I took it from another software called Jupyter and R, and some of the system I use Obsidian. But all of this note-taking tool software, I put it and index it to Notion, so as a knowledge management system. Although you can use Notion per se to take a note, but Notion perfectly have this system to manage your time, period, and also to manage this visual aesthetic much better. So today we cover the free Notion plan. Unfortunately, we will be unable to cover the further details like collaboration tools, to widgets, the storage tool that you can explore further. The key takeaway is if you want to integrate or embed other software, please make sure that to consider whether this kind of integration costs money to use. So as a start, Notion as a block, each block in Notion is treated as a block. So as you can see, this is an image, is a block, this text is a block, this video is a block, this table is a block, and this list is a block. Sorry, a block. So these are all block that is customizable, that you can transform, you can arrange. Totally, as I say, dependent on you, how you to create and curate your canvas. So create your life goals or life plan as a block as well. You want to do something in your life, you want to specialize, you want to have certain amount of financial stability and whatnot. All of these goals is valid, but perhaps you should consider that all of this journey is not only from destination A to destination B. You need to treat it as a block that helps you to reach the destination, because the life in general have full of up and downs, some mostly down, and but take the event make discourage you as a development period for you, because across time perhaps you will learn the value of this event that might discourage you, that might you feel uh, demotivated on certain event as a building block and experience for you in the future. So again, briefly, Notion is a block. You need to have treat it as a block where each habit should be a cue to another habit, and Notion block help to you to decide further your choice, habit, because eventually a good decision will help you to have a good day, and which eventually leads to a good week and also a good month and so on. So as a habit then, initially you might have a difficulty to discipline with yourself, the steep learning curve, and then somehow you will manage to learn and acquire the habit. And once you pass a certain threshold, you will have this automaticity. You'll never be conscious to do the habit. But in terms of mastery, the same curve applies, but you need a further curve, higher threshold, and subsequent. So in this process, you should be systematic, and Notion is a perfect tool for that. Because why? You at least you have a measurement tool that you can check your progress. So among a suggestion for you to review your life, In general, for Malaysian, life expectancy for male is 72 years, for female 77. So at this short 77 years on average at birth and on life, what is your current life review? The domain that you might check is spiritual, career, financial, times. Perhaps you how frequent you measure, daily, weekly, monthly, and so on. Or maybe you might take it as a first day, first one month, first 100 days in X office at X organization. So perhaps you can measure it further. Okay, let's go with the project. Enough of the theory. Just a second. Okay, so I hope you can see screen. This is my second screen. So let me just delete this page. Okay, so before we go there, I hope all of you already downloaded Notion Handbook that I've shared just now. If you couldn't download it, please put it in the Q&A or chat, just to highlight that you're still unable to download it. Okay, so somebody was asking the meeting ID. I missed that. Let me just share it quickly. Sorry. Okay, so this is the handbook. So briefly, I've got you how to install Notion. Please go through this book. If you still not yet download it via Gumroad. Uh, you will have to go to the process that I've outlined within the book. Download it here, get it Notion for free. If you don't mind to click the link that I've created here, this is the digital Qasas affiliated link. And then sign up with your Google or Apple ID. If perhaps you have another email, select it for school, tell a bit about yourself, to manage project, to create a knowledge base, and then you would like to have this starting page, the same page. So let us go to the page that I've shared just now. Okay. So this is a free page. So as I mentioned before, Notion is a blog. You have add icon here, add cover to add pictures. You also can comment this page as a collaborative tool with other people. You can start as an empty page. You can immediately start writing with AI, or you want to import things from other places, upload files, for example. There are also templates, and there are also different kind of view that I showed just now, table, vault, timeline, calendar, and whatnot. As we all, as I suggested, so what we do today is to create this dashboard. Okay, to create a dashboard that gallery view, cardiology, pulmonary, and others that have this progress bar and checkbox. If you able to open it, if you already, if you don't mind, I would like to see if you could give a reaction or emoji. If you just hearing this from your car and whatnot, please let me know as well. Whether you guys are ready to start with the one-to-one workshop. just give a thumbs up, or perhaps just give Y at the chat. Okay, so let's begin. Sorry, started it again. I'm afraid if you miss the steps. So we have untitled. This we can put your title here. Sorry, so we can put the exam. It's the title of the exam. You can put the emoji here. You can change. For example, already put medical symbol, find the medical symbol, or you want to put another symbol, for example, the hospital symbol, treatment symbol, but sometimes they have, you want to put medicine, you can put it as well. For cover, add some cover, it will put you with the custom cover. You don't need to change it. There are 4 selection. You can get based on the gallery. You want to upload your own picture as a cover. You can have a link from others place to put as a picture. I can have a picture stock for Unsplash, but usually it doesn't have a lot of picture. For example, if I search about cardiology, you don't find any picture. So what I did will, sorry, this is a password. Okay, this is an example of the picture. You can see this is the picture that I have used. So select the picture, open it in a new tab. So right click, copy the image address. Okay, again, copy the image address. So from here, use the image link, and then voila. So you can see your page is like this right now. However, since this is the main page, you don't want to put the heart as the main. Perhaps you would like to change it as just a color scheme. Okay, so we started as empty page. So there is a space for AI. For example, you want to request to AI list common topics in cardiology in tabulated format. This is the prompt that I use. It might be different output that will produce on your site. Then you press enter. AI will then write the topics that they think, and then they will train to for your use. So we can see here, this is AI generated content from zero without any effort from my side, but I put some specific prompt, cardiology, and also tabulated format. So we can see it produce topics and also in tabulated format as I requested. However, but in examination, I believe it's a bit different because the topics will be tested, will be subjected to different field and whatnot. The arrangement of the topic, for example, acute coronary syndrome, perhaps if hypertension. So there are different topics that is not included here. That's why when you use AI, you need to use it cautiously, and you need to have a domain knowledge before you search. And most importantly, do not use AI the source of truth, but rather as a guidance, as an iterative process, and also to help to summarize if you already have like a lot of input. AI is good on that, but rather not good in producing output from scratch. So this is basically they try to make the output the most plausible output based on your input. So as mentioned, the AI saved themselves by saying that this is just some of the many topics that cardiologists study and specialize in. Cardiologists are dedicated to provide the best possible care for their patient. So I don't want to use the AI input. You can just easily do this, and then we come to the initial page. So we start and end. We have two things over here. We have the handle and plus icon. So the block handle, you can turn into a heading. For example, I say hello. It's like word. You want to turn it into heading number one, a bit big, the biggest. You want to change it into heading number two, smaller, and then overall heading number three. So you want to have a checkbox after that. You have a bullet or to-do list and so many other things. But the most interactive thing about Notion is for you to have checklist. You do checklist. So register the body, so you can check, then it automatically strike through if you finish the task. So there are other things that you might be able to do as well. Register with the recipe, prepare documentation. This is just some bluff that I write. So this is checklist. Within this, you can also have bullet or number, but the highlight is toggle. What is toggle? So for example, I transform, as I mentioned before, a block can be transformed, can be arranged, and can be managed as a page. So for example, I would like to transform this to-do checklist into a toggle. What is toggle? Toggle is basically, it will produce the checklist within the to-do checklist. So as I mentioned before, you can put the block and move it here, as you can see, so you can hide the subject or the checkbox under the toggle. So it totally depends on your creativity. How do you manage Notion? Okay, so it is just some of the functionality within Notion. And also, you might put your objective or your goal. My goal is to pass Smart City with 99% marks, for example. Transform this into a callout, even the block equation. For example, I put it as a callout. You might have a different section, a bit different from the block, the usual block. So you can change the emoji here, you put a target and whatnot. So a bit more aesthetic to your eyes. And then, so as we target to do something like this, so we need to have a database. What is database? So this is the main page. So what we need to do is a database that consists. Database is the contains multiple pages. Okay, so what you need to do, use this plus handle. You can see this, there is basic blocks. Just scroll down further. You will see there is the same thing from the handle block, text, page, to-do list. Just scroll further. You can have media as well. You want to upload pictures, video, code. If you are expert in coding, you also can use HTML coding, CSS, or JSON as well. This is database. As I mentioned, it's better for you to start with table, and then we go with the gallery or board view and calendar view. Okay, so we see this view. It will ask you, there is no data source, go to a new database. If you already have a database, you may access the database, but my preference will be a new database for this session. So you put a title, you can change the column name, subjects. Usually for the second column, you will have prefix text. Usually I delete it. Inform you, and then just delete it. As we can see, you want to put the topics in this session: cardiology, pulmonary, and study resources for exam. So cardiology, you want to put pulmonary, study resources. Okay. So what is the next column? Generally, I will put date. Sorry, the column that you select here, you can select from multiple things. You can be a text, be a number, the selection, date, and whatnot. So for the general page in the database, I will put date. So for example, you were to finish sorry, at the goals, you want to pass the MRCC with 99% marks by 1 January 2024. Why this is important? A goal must be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time. So, for example, you want to start the cardiology topic within 1 month for a period of 1 month. So, this is the period. And pulmonary, you want to start after May. You just select 1st of June and 30th of June. For study resources, you don't need date for that because it's only for your reference. And then you can put a status. So status, you can change the column name as well. And then you can manage the of that's not started, in progress, or done. Okay. So perhaps you want to change the color and whatnot. So you can use the tile over here to change the color. And then you change it to be in progress, done, or whatnot. So you're already like halfway through, and then you want to visualize it. So we open, it will open inside page like this. So because you are managing a database, usually we put you in the side page because you're still managing the page and the database. So this is the start sub page. You, as I mentioned before, you can use icon to visualize it. You add some cover. Just now we have copied our link. So go to the link and then put your link and submit. Okay. So you already put a cardiology, the heart picture within this page. So I will usually proceed. You can use AI to generate your content, or as I mentioned before, use plus, go to not the basic blocks, but to the database block. So you have this feature, no data source, connect with a data source, new database. So, and then you put a title or subjects, and then what is the examples of the topics under the study of heart? For example, acute coronary syndrome, or perhaps hypertension. Okay. So, and then you already like halfway through. So, as I mentioned before, it will come its prefix text column. You can delete this column. Okay, let us see. We can close the column by having these two arrow, or you can make a full screen, keep it as a side tick, or at this moment, let's just close it. So now we already finished with the cardiology. We want to see the gallery view. You can see this button over here because there are two buttons. This is table view. You want to add another view, new view. You want to have a gallery view. So technically you put a gallery, you go for the gallery, and then there will be some selection. Card preview will be not the content, but the page cover that you put the link just now. And then you can image, done, and then that's it. You already managed the first part of your dashboard. And then you have pulmonary and study resources. As I mentioned, each is treated as a block. You can just pull to put it side by side. And then if you find it difficult, just go to the gallery because I think it's a bit big for you. Just go to the gallery, edit the property, edit the view. So the layout is gallery, cut size a bit smaller. So it will be small. So we already like halfway through. Now we need to add another view. We want to add calendar. Why calendar? We want to visualize the period. So you can manage it to view the calendar as month, for example, month, and then this is week. As you can see, this already started from May 1, the cordially period. As for now, we put it as a month, and done. So we close it. So as you can see here, a whole May dedicated for cardiology. What is the amazing part of Notion then? We go for the gallery view again. You put cardiology. Within the cardiology, you already have this period, May 1st to May 31st. You put another date here. Within the cardiology page, you put date. Okay. So you put, because as we mentioned before, cardiology is the whole month, 1st May to 31st May. You want to finish the subject within few days. The first topic, you want to manage it from May 1st to May 3rd. Sorry. Okay. And then because this is like 3 days period, you would like to include time. So you can put time. For example, you just come back after work until certain period, specific period you want to block. For example, 10 o'clock. Okay. So and I think if you familiar with Excel, it says drag vertically to fill value. You can fill the value. So this is a empty row. But you, whether you want to continue this date or not, you can just change it. For example, the hypertension topic, you want to finish it by, you want to start it at 3rd of May as a continuation, for example, at 11 o'clock p.m. and you want to finish it by 6th May. So this is a continuation, May 1st to May 3rd. After May 3rd to May 6th, you have be studying hypertension. So you still cannot see the calendar view because you need to create the calendar view. So you can put the calendar view, as I taught you just now, date, month, and done. So from here, you can see they already blocked your date and time. As I mentioned before, it overlaps at 11 o'clock. So it already blocked your time over here and a visual way to remind you that you should be studying by then. It also applies if you want to upskilling yourself by studying other things. So it's just up to you to creatively decide to complete this task. And then final one, you want to have a list or the gallery view as well. It totally depends on you. Okay. And then you should add another column. So checkbox. So I want to put ×1. Okay. And then as I mentioned, each block can be duplicated. You can just rename it. You can duplicate and then you just rename it. And then duplicate again. For example, at this time, I would like to make checkbox or 5 checkbox. By 5, you want to have mastery. You want to repeat the subject so many times until it becomes fluent to your mind. So already created 5 checkbox. 1, 2, 3, no, just 4. And then final one. So remember what I said? This checkbox is binary value 0 to 1. If you check, it's 1. If you not check, it's 0. So let's see. We already have the cardio pulmonary yet to do. So in this view, we already have the topics, we have the study plan, period, and also the checkbox. We still yet to create the for material and also the progress. So we add another column, go to the plus button, multi-select, you can put the material and press enter. So as you can see here, when you go to the row cell, you put pass here, for example, it will create the selection. Or you want to review handbook, become another selection. So you can put selection over here, it can be together, or you want to put it as alone, you can just cancel it. So at this time around, I put the plus here, and so you change the color, like for example, orange, or the same goes with if your handbook, you could put it as a blue, for example, no specific reason. It totally depends on you for visual aesthetic. So another column I should be doing is the progress column. So the progress column is a formula. So you can have other function, check about URL or not. It's a formula. Why you want to use a formula? Because as I mentioned, you want to check for your progress. You want to calculate your progress. How do you calculate your progress? Because this is a checkbox, a binary number 0 to 1. You will want to convert this 0 to 1 into a number. So technically, if you finish 1 out of 5, it will be 1 over 5. If you finish 2 times repetition, 2 over 5, and so on. So let us check. We need to link it with the checkbox. So this will be a bit difficult. I hope you guys can still follow. Please ask question if you're unable to follow. Okay. So sorry. Okay. So you can go for selection. So functionally, it's a bit different for Excel because Excel you need to write the formula yourself. But for function, it already like define you what are the syntax. This is the syntax. The syntax means language, and then the property. So for checkbox, for example, it already defined that what is a checkbox returns the property of ×1, the checkbox. So I just put it. Sorry. Okay, this is the property and done. If I put that property, I will put checkbox again. I don't want to put that. So what you would like to put is actually the property of the checkbox. Okay. So you want to put the property of the checkbox, and then what will happen? It is the same. So what you actually want is something called unary. Unary plus. What is the meaning of unary plus? It's a formula, part of the formula and syntax. It converts arguments into number. As I mentioned, remember, but it's a checkbox is a binary 0 to 1. You want to convert the checkbox is a checkbox. Although we know it's a binary, but it's not yet a number. Let us see. So this is not a number. Once you put unary, sorry, just a second. Unary, and then you put the prop and one. You close the bracket. You see, this is a closing bracket, and then another one for this relation. And then you see 0, and then it's 1. Now you can see the binary number. But if you try to check number checkbox 2, you still cannot see the changes because it is not related. So what you need to do then, you need to relate it, Control C, copy it, plus the property number 2. See, the property number 2. So when you do this, you get 2. Okay, and same go on until you get the 5th checkbox. So in this case, for the sake of simplicity, we'll put it 5 times. So when you put your property, this is times 2, times 3, times 4, and times 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, if you find it difficult, you can already stop from doing this and not doing the formula at all. But I teach you this concept because lots of video on the YouTube will not teach you this. You might find it difficult when you start to do this. Okay, so you have 5. Why is it 5? As I mentioned before, it's a binary number. You change the binary number into argument into number 0 to 1. If you don't put the unary plus, it will becomes the checkbox. If you put the unary plus, it becomes 0 to 1. So you basically add 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 5. It becomes sum of 5. Okay, now what you need to do then, second. Now you divide by 5. Okay, you might find somebody might find this wrong. Let me show you later. Okay, suppose you want to divide it by 5. It's supposed to show 1, but it's 4.2. Why is it 4.2? Because in this formula, like a simple mathematics, they will go, this is plus. You want to go with the division number rather than plus. So it will go first, and it will go this other number. So it's basically like 1 divided by 5, 0.2, and then add 4. That's why it becomes 4.2. If you remove the 5, it becomes 4, and you check the 5, it becomes 4.2. So what you should do, simple, like mathematical equation, put open and closing bracket, and voila. So it becomes 1, like a probability. So from now on, it's become easier for you. Edit the property. This is the magic happen, the progress bar. Okay, so formula, you have the formula done, number format in percentage. Okay, so you can see here, and then you change, sorry, edit the property. You want to show the number only, you want to show the bar, a ring. So you can put it like this. If you unable to finish it, to 60%, and then 80 to 50, 80 to 100. The same, it will be automatically goes for the following row, and basically you finish. So that is how you do and manage your notes and your knowledge management system. So we already did the second page within the sub-page, the type of revision. I'll change the topic just for the sake of clarity. And then just go back. Pulmonary, you still haven't do it. The magic is when you once you do this, remember you have a block. Duplicate, you can duplicate it. So you have this, and then use the block handle to move to where? Pulmonary. Now, I go to different pulmonary. Just a second. You can use this, move to this pulmonary. Okay. Oh, sorry. I should duplicate it first. Duplicate it. Just a second. And then move to the pulmonary. Why it doesn't appear in the previous pulmonary? Because I have this another finished product that I already done. So this is the unfinished product. So what you should do, always add icon for the sake of visual aesthetic, add cover. So what you check is pulmonary. Usually the stock photos doesn't give you justice. Unsplash, for example, you want to check the lungs. It doesn't show very aesthetic view. So pulmonary, as you can see here, it doesn't even show the correct one. So you choose this one. Generally, I will open the link, and then, of course, I don't want to accept cookies. Open image in new tab. Okay, or you can just copy the link directly just from just now. Link, copy and paste, submit. So you're already ready. So you already have the table that we made just now, and voila, you just need to change the topics within the pulmonary. For example, this is for pneumonia, asthma, and whatnot. So the same, you need to adjust the checkbox. You can have a full view by clicking here, and then you're ready. So you already have, okay, the picture. Sometimes you need to go to this picture and ensure that it shows the card cover rather than the content. So as I mentioned just now, layout, it will show card preview, page cover, not page content. If I use page content, you will lose the cover. So always use the card preview by having a page cover. The same goes with study resources. You want to put books, for example. You can add the cover. I think book has a better stock photos. Want to put book. And the same thing. You can create the database, duplicate the database, and send to the study resources. So generally you are ready. We have almost similar product over here. Study resources, we have touched about gallery, database, calendar. We also have discussed about table view and calendar view. So basically, all of us and you, I hope you yourself able to use Notion. So I think that's about it. If you guys would like to ask questions, let me check. General. If you like to ask questions, please feel free to do so. I just realized I enable people to ask questions. Just a second. Okay. Yes. So Shamila was asking, you can publish it as a website. So yes, you can publish it as a website. So as you can see here, this is my overview. You can go to this three dot over this right side, right upper corner, and then you copy the link, or you can use the share function. First, publish it to the web. Okay, so you can have very general name for the link. So, but in general, if you want to have a personalized domain, you need to fine tune it within your settings. So you can manage to allow people to edit it, to comment, or to duplicate as a template. For example, I just copy this, I share it with the chat box. You might be able to see it. And then, okay, can you repeat all the formula after we convert to binary? Okay. If you don't mind, everyone try to click the link that I shared, Fearless Wound, although it's not very, because I think this is Notion use another software platform to generate URL. because the settings here, I also still haven't yet to create anything within the settings. Okay, so somebody were asking me to repeat the formula. Okay, let us remove this formula. Okay, remember, it's a column, name column, selection column, date column, and checkbox column. Checkbox column, as I mentioned, is a binary 0 to 1. But checkbox is a checkbox, not a number. So when we add another column here, formula, we want to change it to progress. Okay, come on this side. Sorry, can you guys see? So first and foremost, we must link the all these checkbox into this column, into this first cell. So what you should do is, if you don't know formula, all right, because Notion user interface is really helpful, you can just select this. Okay, prop1, property 1. So done. So it becomes a checkbox. Like I mentioned before, checkbox is a checkbox. It's not a number. So what you need to do then, this is a formula called unary plus. This operator, it is an operator that converts the argument into number. So unary plus, it will have open bracket over here to include the property of the checkbox. The Notion, sorry, this will be wrong. Unary. Okay. So you will change the property of the. Sorry, I don't. Just a second. Sorry, just a second. The UI becomes automatic. So the unary will convert the property of the checkbox, that is the checkbox, into 0 to 1. Okay, so now it is 1, but so now it's already related to box number 1, and then it's still not connected with the other box. So what you want to do is you want to connect the other checkbox. So what you do is you copy, Control C. Control C is called copy, plus like a standard mathematical number operator. So now you want to, although you also you can, if you don't understand the process, you can start with typing unary plus, and then you can have, just click this. But don't forget to close the bracket, and then you can continue writing it again. Unary plus, you want to convert to prop, this time prop number 3, don't forget to close the bracket, plus unary again, you want to convert property number 4, close the bracket, and then the same goes on until the fifth one. Okay, don't forget to close the bracket. Always do not forget to close the bracket, because you can see here, if you not properly close the formula, you can accept it. When you close it, only then you can accept. So now from only one, you can, it's already related with the other checkbox. Okay, so now we want to convert this into a progress bar. So as I mentioned, operator is like a basic mathematical that we learned before. If we divide it by 5, it still accepts this number, but then we get 4.2 because it prioritizes the division number. So what you need to do is you put a bracket after prioritization within mathematical equation. So opening and closing bracket, and then only then they will divide it by 5. So now it become 1. Why it's become 1? It's 5. Remember the 0 to 1 binary. So it becomes 1. You select 5, it becomes 5. You divide by 5, so it's equal to 1. And then what you need to do then, edit the property, have a bar, go to the bar, or ring. let's go for the ring this time. So formula, we have entered the formula, number format in percentage. And then go for the ring. Color, you want to, for example, this time orange or blue, or you want to go for yellow. And it totally depends on your, that is pleasing to your eyes. So then you're ready. So, and the same, it will be automatically be generated for your subsequent row. So yes, I hope that would be clear the process. If anyone, can you ask question if you want to voice out? Let me try check. If anyone has other question. So basically, well, if anyone would like to ask a question, please can feel free to do so in the chat box. I try to make people, to allow people to ask questions, unable to do so. I do settings. Yeah, please. About the formula. Let me check what can allow people. Yes, please continue your question. Fadila Hazim. Start date and end date. Yes, you can do it as well. For example, if we want to, because here, okay, this is date, this date will already show you period. But you must understand that this cell is calculation cell. So when you put calculation, you need to be aware that date that you put, it must be converted into an understandable number by the cell. I mentioned before, what does it mean? Is that this is because this is a formula. For example, put a formula here. So currently, if I would like to put date, it will reflect the same date. So if you want to use at your ease, you want to calculate the number days left and whatnot, because currently you want to put this date as the period. You want to maintain it as a period and time block within your calendar. So if you change that, you might have some difficulties. So what you can do is create another date. Okay, create another date, but without the end time. Put for example, the 1st of May. So now, rather than the prop date, go to the second date, and it becomes it relates to this cell. So you might be able to see if you, for example, are not here or you want to search it on the internet, you can try to convert it within an understandable number by the cell, because usually there's a lot of way to calculate dates between two dates. You can use timestamp, this date, track, or perhaps you can use the methods I use for this checkbox. So there are different ways to convert this. For example, you can I can do it as a date as well. But as you can see, it cannot accept date as a generic class because date is already is a different number after all. In Excel, date is considered as a Z1 from 1900, 1 January 1900 up till now. You might sometimes encounter in Excel is 44,000 for 2023. But in Notion, a bit different. What you need to do is to have to use this date stamp, date timestamp, date of add or subtract date between. So there is a lot of formula that you might tweak. And for example, I'm not sure whether you want to start date, whether it's years, minutes, seconds. So a bit more difficult advanced for this session, but you can do that as well within the Notion. I hope it helps. But in general, to understand is that the cell is date. You want to calculate, you can calculate, but but you must understand the formula. Sorry, just a second. None. So you can have these operators to help you, and it explains everything here as well to help you doing calculate the duration between two dates. Sometimes you need to be precise, up to minutes, up to hours that you want to do. Would that be all right? I'm not sure about another. Okay, I think that's not it. As last, I allowed just before 9:15, only 4 minutes. I mean, I extended about 50 minutes. If anyone would like to ask a question, I will invite anyone to ask last question. Yes, Hafiz?